you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're going to get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe.
I've been calling you, but you don't pick it up. I'm so sick of it, still I can't stop. I've been calling you about your kids and guys. Your selfish bird telling me to stay. I've run out of patience, but you don't give a damn about the things I do. I'm so sick of all the ways so I take a leap of faith, hoping you will still behave. Cause I will be here waiting.
Vibe. We're going to take just a few minutes and let a few people trickle in, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Now, today that means we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then after that, we're going to have some conversations. Because conversation does rule the nation. Just vibe.
I've been calling you, but you don't pick it up. I'm so sick of it, still I can't stop. I've been calling you about your kids and guys. Your selfish bird telling me to stay. I've run out of patience, but you don't
Just let it seep in.
about the things I do. I'm so sick of the ways so I take a leap of faith, hoping you will still behave. Cause I will be here waiting.
Vibe. I love that vibe. This is Gemini Moon Vibrational Therapy. And look, if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. Let this Gemini moon speak to your soul. Let the vibes communicate with you.
Felicity, you like this?
I love it.
Felicity, you like this?
Just vibe.
Felicity, you like this? Felicity, you like this?
Just let it seep in. Everything else comes secondary to the vibe.
Felicity, you like this? Felicity, you like this?
That's right, Tina Clara Marie. Now, this is also a Gemini moon vibe. Beats by Let's Zone Out Music. Let's zone out. I love that. Vibe. What's up, double A, double A? Welcome to the function. Yeah, man. Fine. That bitch is so beautiful. That bitch is lovely, man. I love that shit. Look, I'm not a big fan of Mondays or the mundane. But hey, we're gonna get through it together. Somehow, this is also a Gemini moon vibe. And this is some Gemini moon vibrational therapy. You are tuned in with priceless knowledge of self. 5. I am Rodrigo. But you need to roll your R's or the vibration ain't gonna be right. Let it roll off your tongue. Now, we are the Vibe Tribe. There are thousands of us all over the world. That means we're not thirsty for subscribers or hungry for attention. No, no, no. We're here to raise the vibration with this knowledge and information, and it ain't gonna be for everybody. So, if you're into astrology and numerology and things that help you understand yourself better and raise your vibration, then this is the place for you. If you can't fuck with it, swipe up. Yeah. Because if you come in on some troll shit or some fuck shit, you're just gonna expose yourself, and then myself or one of my constituents is gonna ban you immediately. I'm talking about exile you expeditiously. We finna talk about it in just a minute. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. No. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. I don't think you heard me. I ain't gonna do no rapping, but I am gonna talk slick to you and teach you a little something about you. So just vibe. Can you feel that? Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we come on again. Please also understand I have over 500 videos on every major placement in Western astrology. And so, if you're trying to learn, this is the place to be. I have one on almost every major Western astrological placement, and I have a few on numerology too. I just haven't finished that series. So, welcome to Priceless Knowledge of Self. And then somehow, this is also a Gemini moon vibe. And then we're going to get into it. Shout out to my boy Othello. Somebody needs to smile right now. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. You here. And before I go any further, let me ask y'all a question. After we get done talking about the transits, and that's going to take like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But after we get done talking about the transits, do y'all want to take a look at Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's charts and just see what we see? Or would you rather talk about something else? Because we can definitely get off of politics and talk about anything else. But the moon is in Gemini, Mars is in Gemini, Jupiter is in Gemini. Conversation does rule the nation. So whatever y'all want to conversate about, we can do it. But like I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of Mondays or the mundane. So the last thing we need to do is let boredom kick in, because that's when that mischievousness rears its head. All right. Let me turn this down, because it's about that time for us to get into what's going on cosmically. What's up, Alicia Marie? It's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. So, first of all, the sun is in Leo. And with the sun in Leo, this is where your confidence needs to kick in. This is where you need to get creative. But this is also where you need to enjoy yourself. Man, fun, creativity, self-expression, hell, children. All of that's emphasized when the sun comes into Leo. And understand, Leo is ruled by the sun, so the sun is at home here. And so this is a beautiful expression of energy. But there can be a lot more drama because just about everything gets emphasized when you're in Leo season. Please understand that. And if it's not emphasized, it gets exaggerated. That's the key phrase to put into play right there. And it's also where people feel confident enough to do their own thing separate from other people, and that's not something that's spoken on. But there is this need for approval and attention that can get in the way of authentic expression. So, like I said, make sure you're expressing your true self and being genuine in your approach instead of pandering to a motherfucking audience. That's the key. Be confident enough to be different. Be confident enough to do your own thing separate from other people and what their expectations of you are. All right? Do you and be you unapologetically. Don't get caught up in no bullshit because, hey, the sun is in Leo, the moon is in Gemini. This is a very sociable energy, but it's also potentially messy. Be careful. And pride is even more prominent right now too. And we've all heard that old adage, pride comes before the fall. Look, we ain't falling off. So just make sure that you're being authentic in your expressions of whatever you're expressing. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. Make sure you're being bold in your approach to life. Stay confident, stay creative, but don't let things get extra, get exaggerated, get exasperated. You can demand attention, but be careful that you're not throwing a temper tantrum. Make sure you're not showing your ass. Yeah. I like that right there. And the sun is still sextile to Mars. They're finally separating because they were exact for some days there, but the sun is still tightly sextile to Mars. This is less than a 1 degree orb. And so, look, you got a lot of energy right now. Most people do. Don't allow that to get you into trouble. See, that sextile, it's not natural like a trine. No, you got to figure out a way to work with that sextile. Because that energy right there can get extra. And then people can be so confident that they're not paying attention to small shit. And they can get sloppy in their approach to things. But there also is this confidence that kicks in right now that makes people be confident enough to say things that they normally wouldn't say. And that could right there really show people's creativity. I love it. I love it. In our group Star on Facebook, we do thirst trapping for Leo season. But there's themes and things like that. And it's not for the sake of getting people to Google because, to be honest with you, out of 9,000 people, there might be 400 or probably less males in that group. So it's more or less confidence boosting. It's everyone boosting each other's confidence and making people feel confident no matter how they have felt previously and speaking up and showing who they are. And I love when we do that. And that's a beautiful expression of the sun sextile to Mars. But I do want y'all to see this. There's also some extra shit that comes with that. You hear me? So be careful. Don't move sloppily. Find some type of way to channel this creatively and enjoy it. Because there's no more fun when you're dealing with Leo and Gemini. Plain and simple. That's the funnest energy there is with those two. It can be childish too, though. Mischievous even. That could be troublesome. So what the fuck you gonna do with it? Yeah. Now, the moon. Shit. This is where the messiness becomes even more probable. Because the moon is now sitting at 0 degrees of Gemini. And, oh, let me tell you. First of all, with the moon in Gemini, people are feeling a broad spectrum of emotions. As a matter of fact, in some cases, some of us are going to feel all over the place. We don't know how to feel because we're feeling so much. And I wouldn't say it's sensitive, but it is susceptible. Do you hear me? It may not be the most sensitive emotionally, but it is susceptible to what I would call environmental issues. So you do have to make sure that you're in the right environment. All right. And people pick up on everything. People pick up on everything. They notice everything, and they want to talk about it. Now, let me also say, with the moon in Gemini, you might be feeling one thing 1 second, then the very next you feel completely different. Or you're not even thinking about what you were feeling about before, and you're feeling something different about something else. It's very interesting. And let me tell you, the moon is square to Mercury, conjunct to Mars, sextile to Neptune, trine to Pluto, and the black moon Lilith. So we have that grand air trine between the moon and Pluto and the black moon Lilith. And then you have the moon square to Mercury. You have the moon conjunct to Mars and sextile to Neptune. So, hey, this energy is dynamic. Over this next 4 or 5 hours, really going on into this evening here in America. But for us, maybe 6, 7 hours. But for the rest of this afternoon and going on into this evening, oh man, there's some messy energy out here. See, the moon square to Mercury, and Mercury being stationed retrograde. No, not in the shadow phase. It's not retrograde, but it's in the shadow phase. But in Virgo there, that is very irritable, and there's a lot of shit talking right off the rip. The moon in Gemini square to Mercury and Virgo, and then Mercury being stationed in that pre-retrograde shadow phase, that shit is gonna be messy. That's gonna be a lot of shit talking. People talking shit about other people, or people feeling some type of way about something and speaking up on it, and that causing some verbal altercations. But there is that. There's gonna be some issues as far as this, and it's very mercurial energy. So there's gonna be a lot of shit talking. But there can also be a lot of nervousness that leads to mistakes with this right here. That's something else. There's so much mental energy going on at play right here that it can make people move sloppily, or it can make people have a lot of discrepancies in the output of their whatever they're trying to do. And also some miscommunications. With the moon square to Mercury, there's miscommunications. But ultimately, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of bickering. A lot of bickering and shit talking and picking other people apart and picking situations apart. And this is going to be going on, like I said, for the rest of the day, going on into the evening. And Mercury's already doing that because Mercury's post-retrograde or pre-retrograde shadow phase in Virgo. That's like a tongue twister, so excuse me. But I'm just saying, with this energy right here, and the moon square to Mercury and conjunct to Mars, people are going to be talking a lot of shit. And there can also be some mishandling of facts. Plain and simple. And just be careful that you don't get so caught up in some messy shit that you miss the point, or that you don't make things more complicated for yourself. Make sure your anxiety doesn't get the best of you, because people's nerves are going to be a little bad right now. You hear me? Just for the remainder of the evening, this is going to be going on. Now, the moon is going to be conjunct to Mars, and in that way right there, I'm telling you, this energy right here, it can just get extra real quick. This is Gemini. This shit can get extra real quick, and people are saying all types of stuff right now. All you have to do is take a scroll on social media, or even turn on your television and go and look at the channels. You have CNN attacking and picking apart everything that Donald Trump says, and you have Fox News blatantly lying just about everything. And so it's messy. Now, it can also be really fun. What you got to do is just do something interesting, do something creative, multitask, do a whole bunch of things at once. Just keep this energy useful instead of letting it get into that mischievous place where it has a tendency to wreak havoc and cause chaos. That is a very easy thing to do with this right here. The moon conjunct to Mars in Gemini also means people are going to be speaking on their feelings, but it's like they say some shit and then they don't even feel like that anymore, and that shit's gone, and then there's this misunderstanding or this problem that's been created from this, and there's not a lot of patience either. You got to be careful with this. There's not a lot of patience. So go out and take a walk. Go out and take a drive, but I do want to caution you that there could be some wrecks because of people doing shit too quickly or people making mistakes. It's not the same as if this was Aries, but it's more or less like people are going around the rules. And that can be fun, it can be interesting, it can certainly be a stimulating experience, but ultimately that shit can also cause some issues and cause some havoc in people's lives. So be careful. And this is a perfect time to just have conversations with people, because, you know, Jupiter is also in Gemini. It's the perfect time to write. That's why I call today, even though it's Gemini moon vibrational therapy, what it also is going to be some conversations, all right, on whatever y'all want to talk about. And so this is perfect for that. But if you allow yourself to get bored, oh man, this can be an issue. Do not allow yourself to get bored. Because that's going to be an issue. What's up, Human Nature 1117? You crazy. Oh, that Gemini moon. If you pull that toy out, make sure you work it well. Push it in as deep as it'll go. That's how I like to be, neck deep. I touch kidney. Yeah. I touch kidneys. Hey, Quay. See, the problem with this is all of this is in my 8th house. And then the sun is in Leo. The sun is in Leo, so I'm not afraid to say it. I like the attention. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's right there on my Venus in my 10th house. I love it. But yeah. And then Jupiter's conjunct my black moon Lilith. So yeah. I'm with all that shit. But Mercury is in Virgo. Make sure you rinse everything else appropriately when you're done. Hygiene is also very important. Lick it off and then wash it off and then hit it with some hand sanitizer. Now, the moon is sextile to Neptune. So that's where it gets interesting. Because this is the moon in Gemini separating from that sextile with Neptune. So this is a very imaginative energy also. It's the perfect time to be creative, but there also is going to be some fucking lying. Motherfuckers just lying. Yeah. But other than that, then not being able to trust just about anything that you're hearing or seeing, I would also say this is the perfect time for you yourself to channel this energy creatively. Take everything you got going on in your mind and use it. So yeah. Enjoy yourself playing with that thing. But understand, I'm a Mars in Capricorn. I don't play with it. I go right to work. I don't do no playing. I put in work. Now I'm trying to behave. You're gonna get me in trouble. Now, the moon is trying to Pluto and the black moon Lilith. So yeah, people are acting up. People are being rebellious. People are getting out of character. People are doing things they normally wouldn't do. Yeah, and this is an air trine. So it does kind of involve other people. Yeah. No, my black moon Lilith is 13 degrees of Gemini in my 8th house. My south node is 27 degrees of Libra in my 1st house. That means I be being too nice. I be letting motherfuckers make it too much. It means sometimes I care about what other people think too much. It means I need to be more straight up. Yeah. I'm always acting up. I like that shit. Yeah. You got the chat speechless. Now, with the moon trying to Pluto, like I said, that's intense. That's something switching up quickly. How you feel inside brings about changes in your life. Brings about changes in your approach to life. You're communicating things that you normally would keep pushed down, but now you gotta say it. Yeah. And with the moon trying to the black moon Lilith, with this being Gemini and Libra, people lying like a motherfucker. I'm telling you now. It's very interesting. People are telling people what they want to hear. They just telling people what they want to hear. Now, I wouldn't do that, but the energy is available to do such. It's very interesting. And sexy. But it can be trouble. Specifically trouble for people's relationships. Yeah. Now, hold on. Now, let's talk about Mercury. Because Mercury is sitting at 2 degrees of Virgo. Do you hear me? Stationed. That means it's pre-retrograde shadow phase. Mercury stations retrograde on August 4th. So in about 5 days, Mercury is going to station retrograde. So this right here is where it's kind of stationing, where it's not going to move very much more over the next 4 or 5 days. And then it's going to be perceived as if it's going backwards. And what's interesting is with this being Virgo, here's where people start thinking too much. This is where people are really starting to notice shit wrong. Matter of fact, they notice everything and it agitates them. This is where people start to dissect things and pick things apart. It'll get worse when it stations all the way retrograde, but right now it's really slowing down things, and it's where you're thinking so much that you're making yourself inefficient. It's where your perfectionist tendencies can get in the way of getting anything done. This is where if Mercury was direct in Virgo, then this is where you could see some real brilliance. This is where this is going to be meticulous. And things are going to be taken care of extremely well. This is where people are going to be really efficient in their energy output and in their mental processing. But this is station, so it slows down. So people are pushing too hard. They're trying too hard. And that becomes an issue in its own right. So yeah, it's interesting. Now, Mercury is square to Mars, at least for today, maybe tomorrow. But Mercury is loosely square with Mars. I would say it's like a 3.5 degree orb, so we're gonna count it in a square. I like to look at anything around 3 or less, or really sometimes 4 or less. And as far as a square goes and a trine goes, 3 or less with a sextile, 2 or less with an inconjunction or a quincunx. It has to be 1 degree or less for a semi-sextile or a sesquiquadrate or a semi-square. All right, and then when you got those biquintiles and quintiles and septiles and all that, you want it to be exact. She called me Rodriguez. Rodrigo, baby. What's up, Ebony? Ebony the Rider? MAGA Ebony? I'm just playing. Not mega, MAGA. Make America Great Again, Ebony. I need a few more of y'all to hit that like button though before I get mad and go home. Anyway, Mercury square to Mars, and this is Mercury square to Mars in Gemini. Not just the moon, it's Mercury also, because the moon is conjunct to Mars. And so, here's the thing. The moon is square to Mercury, but then Mercury is conjunct to Mars. And so, yeah, bickering, arguing, shit talking. This is where people are thinking too much, and it makes them sloppy. It makes things messy. And the moon is just added to that effect. And I spoke on it at the same time because the moon being conjunct to that. And so people are just thinking too fucking much, talking too fucking much, and that causes issues in its own right. People are gonna say some shit that they normally would be able to keep in. Hold on. There we go. And this is also where people are gonna be making mistakes because they're thinking too much and trying too hard. And this is where people are gonna be very up and down, and this is where people are gonna be very irritable. Now that doesn't mean people are walking around mad. It's just like that fuse is very short right now, and people have less patience than normal. And so they're looking for opportunities to call people out. And people are missing the whole point. Like this whole weekend, Mercury has been square to Mars for a little bit here. But it's been approaching that. But like when you look at this weekend and the Olympic ceremonies, or this really started last week, but when we're looking at the Olympic ceremonies, so many people jumped on and jumped the gun and said, "Oh my God, they're mocking Christ. This is the Last Supper. They're making fun of the Last Supper. Look at this. This is a mockery." Well, first of all, if they even were mocking anything, they weren't mocking Christ. They were mocking a picture that was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. It's a picture. It's not anything biblical. It's a fucking picture if they did. And to be honest, that's not what it was. It was the Feast of Dionysus. It was the beheading of Marie Antoinette. But everybody got caught up on the wrong shit. Everybody started saying this, and that's misinformation. But even if it was what they said it was, that's misinformation in itself, because that is not anything that came out of the Bible. The Bible didn't come with pictures. It would be a mockery or another expression of the famous painting by Leonardo da Vinci, The Last Supper. But people speak without knowing what the fuck they're talking about. And here's the issue. That's what the issue is with Mars and Jupiter and Gemini. People talking without the right information. People just talking just because they like to talk. And so it's real easy to get caught up in it, take in some misinformation and judge off of that, and that creates issues. So people need to learn how to use their brain and then their discernment a lot better. All right. Now, let's talk about Venus. Because this is where it gets crucial and critical. Because Venus is at 22 degrees of Leo. So I'm telling you now, if you're in a relationship, you need to be paying attention to your partner. And not only their needs, but also their wants. Because you want the same treatment. You need to make sure that that person feels special because they're involved with you. Because you deserve the same treatment. Because if you don't, with this being 22 degrees, there's going to be some issues. And Mercury's also trying to Chiron in Aries. And so that push, and Chiron has stationed retrograde now too, which we'll talk about that in a second. But it's like if you're not putting in the work or the actions, taking the actions necessary, then you're probably going to end up having to acknowledge an issue within your relationship. Or you yourself, if you feel like you're not getting the attention you want, you might have some acts that you normally wouldn't do because you want attention. And I see it play out regularly. That doesn't mean you're entertaining another person, which that's also a possibility, but it is where people want attention. So they're gonna reach out in ways that could actually be problematic for their relationship, but their relationship was not meeting their needs at that time. And so that creates an issue in itself. Now, the beautiful thing is with Venus at 22 degrees of Leo, if you're affectionate, if you're expressive, then this can be really great for your relationship. This is the time to make them feel special. And I've been feeling it. When my lady comes home, I go tell her, man, I love you. I felt like that. We be riding, I just be staring at her. And I just be like, and she'd be like, what? Because she's a Capricorn. She has Venus in Scorpio, but I have Venus in Leo. So she's like, what? What are you looking at? What the fuck do you want? And I'm just like, man, I love your irritable ass. You know what I'm saying? I love you, man. Like I love you. Like, you know, just going that extra mile to let her know, man, like I love you. Like I'm full of love for you. My cup is overfloweth with love for you. And I'm so proud that you're mine. And so doing that with somebody, that goes a long way. That goes a long way. But if you're not in a relationship and you want to be one, then you have to let your confidence flow forth. You have to let your confidence flow forth. You hear me? Because people love it. Human nature is a straight freak. But hey, isn't that human nature? It is human nature. It is our carnalistic tendencies. Well, Lisa Sims, relationships don't work out well because one minute you'll be as you. One minute you're involved and you're sexy and you're into it, and the next minute you're cold and detached. And you feel like you should have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do and still be in a relationship. And you there's more. You just feel like your feelings are fleeting. And it's not that you like you're unfaithful. It's just like you want to be in that relationship, but you also want to be free to do whatever you want separate from that relationship. And that doesn't mean be with other people and deal with other people. It's just like you want an identity outside of that relationship. And so it's you. It's you. And one day you'll be attracted to something, the very next day you'll feel like that shit ain't what's up. Like, man, this shit is really on my nerves. So yeah, with that Venus opposite to Uranus, that does put some crazy energy into the mix. It really does. And you're attracted to different people that are very different. You need somebody that gives you a lot of freedom and where you have a lot of freedom within your relationship to do your own thing and for you not to feel tied down into that relationship or feel like your identity is being consumed. So yeah, that's issues in its own right. But I can dig it though. It's just human nature. So with Venus trying to Chiron, whatever happens, the issues that have to be confronted within your relationships right now, it's the best thing for you. You learn lessons and things get better from that. Even if you end up splitting with somebody or some shit like that, it still is a lesson learned. It also gives you an opportunity to have something better. So whatever happens right now with this Venus trying to Chiron, it's really something that's going to end up being good for you. And you're going to see passionate responses to things right now. But that can be really helpful in pushing your relationship into a new sector or taking it to the next level. And for those of you that aren't, you just have to get over your fears and see what's holding you back from accessing those type of things. So yeah. Oh, I know, Lisa Sims. I know. I'm the best at this. Now, let's look at Mars. Because Mars is sitting at 6 degrees of Gemini. And like I said, you got the moon conjunct to Mars. You got Mercury square to Mars. The sun is sextile to Mars. And through this right here, it's like there is a lot of mental energy. And that's great if you can find some type of way to apply it effectively. But if not, that shit right there causes irritations or anxiety. And so I also feel like people are doing things very quickly right now. They want to get involved with stuff that they can complete quickly and go on to the next thing. Or they want to be involved in something that allows them the chance to multitask. And the last thing people want to feel is confined. Now, people are going to have a greater courage to speak things that are on their mind right now, too. And so that could cause some issues because people are going to speak their shit. And so if you're a type of person that's sensitive to people letting you know how they feel about a situation, then you need to assess that within yourself. Because that could ultimately cause you some issues. Now, Jupiter is at 14 degrees of Gemini. And thankfully, Jupiter being here is kind of helpful to these situations. It makes these conversations that are happening to be positive things. It helps people be able to communicate their thoughts more freely. It gives people inspiration to write. But with Jupiter's expansive nature, it is real easy to get spread too thin. It is real easy to get sloppy. It is real easy to be skimming. You see yourself skimming from thing to thing. And you also see where people are just saying stuff right now. Doesn't matter if it's true. And they're not considering the effect of what's being said. It's about the expression, not the effect. And that causes issues in its own right. So don't be one of those people. Take the time right now to do your research. Oh, I don't like that vibe right there. Yeah. I like that vibe. What's up, Miss Coast? You tuned in with the coldest. But I'm pretty sure you already know this. Now, Saturn. Saturn is retrograde at 18 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn's going to be retrograde until November 15th. And that's when it'll station direct, but it'll still be moving really slow and probably stay there on 12 degrees of Pisces until around December 1st or 2nd. So like 2 weeks that'll stretch and then it'll finally make a movement. Or it's always making movement, but that's when it finally will progress. Now, look, the best way for you to progress is to process. And the best way for you to process is through gaining perspective. So that's why we're revisiting these degrees again that we've just went over, is because this is allowing you to gain perspective. This is giving you a chance to, figure it out one more time. This is not Saturn coming back to get you. It's the shit that you left undone having to be addressed. And so that's just the process of life, which is what karma is in its way. What's going around and coming around, that's a process. It's not a consequence. When they say every action has an equal or opposite reaction. Yes. That's just the way things work. And so when you have an issue that you're ignoring or trying to avoid or trying to escape, that issue stays there. And then it has a tendency to make things even more complicated. And so we've already been over this. We've been through this. And so with Saturn stationed in retrograde now, it comes back again. Like, man, look, this still has to be confronted. This still has to be dealt with. And it's not what's going on, it's how you're processing it. And so for you to process things more healthily, you have to gain perspective. And so this is that opportunity to do so. You hear me? It's the perfect opportunity for you to gain perspective of what you need to work on or what you need to do or how you can make a situation better. Now, it also is a chance for you to realize it's not going to get better. So you have to deal with that too. See, that's always a possibility. Everything doesn't always get better. Everything that you ask for, everything that you pray for doesn't always get granted. That's the truth. And so you have to be willing to accept that and process that. That's the truth. You might pray that somebody looks at things differently. You might pray that somebody changes, but that's a whole nother human being. You can't. You might be sick and you might be praying that you're gonna get healthy and that this is gonna go away, and it won't. It won't. This is pink. I don't know how you get red. This is pink. This is hot pink. This is fucking hot pink. Purple is my favorite color, but yeah, this is hot pink, baby. Now, anyway, back to where we was at. There's some things that you just have to learn how to deal with, and that also is a part of the process. Us as people have to realize, hey, the way that the world is something we have to deal with. There's not a simple answer to this. The way that people are, there's not a simple answer to that. So you have to figure out a way for you to deal with it and for you not to get caught up in it. And so, hey, take this time to gain perspective. Because if you ignore it, or you continue to be delusional, you're only going to make things even more complicated. And then it's going to station direct again, and that shit's going to hit again. Even worse this time. You got to deal with things. Hey, the world is crazy. Love is a motherfucker. If you're loving, yeah, it can turn out great. But chances are, it turns out in heartbreak. That's a part of it. Love wouldn't be so grand if that possibility of heartbreak wasn't a part of that process. Joy wouldn't be so great if there wasn't pain. Life wouldn't be so fucking awesome and intense if that possibility of death wasn't always sitting there. You understand? It just is what it is. The more currency they create, the higher inflation is going to get. It doesn't matter who the president of the United States is. It's a fact. If you're worried about gas prices, the fact of the matter is when the oil fields are down, then the gas prices are going to be higher. When the oil fields are up, then the gas prices are going to be lower. It has nothing to do with politics, except that the fact that when Republicans are in office, then the oil fields tend to be booming. And when a Democrat comes into office, they cut the cost of that. The fact of the matter is the more people that there are on Earth, the more communicable diseases are going to be. The more that we use radioactive waves, which is what cell phones use, which is what all types of stuff use, Bluetooth uses. The more you use radioactive waves, the more that the possibility of cancer is prominent. The more things they try to do to speed up production, whether it be with meat or with fruit, and the things that they do to try to preserve them, those are also introducing poisons and carcinogens into us, and that they have to do it. They have to do it. This is all a part of it. This is the way that the world is. And so, that's the thing. It's like, man, with the way that this shit is, it is what it is. With the things that have already started as far as political processes in other countries, there's probably going to be war, but this is not the first war that there's ever been. Since humanity became cautious, people started tripping with each other. People started wanting to take over and dominate, and people started saying, well, this is mine. It's the way that this is. It's a part of your animalistic nature. You just try to hide it with intellect. But the truth is, when I walk my dog, there's a ditch or a little creek that's behind our house, but the creek is right behind some apartments. And those apartments have hundreds of people that live there. And so there's rats. And I'm scared of rats, y'all, but there's rats all down in that creek because the trash cans are right there. But there's rats that make holes in that creek bank. And I'm talking about hundreds of rats, big ass rats. And I'm always tripping out because there's this community, but when you walk through there, you hear them fighting. You hear them fighting. You hear that squeaking and beeping, and you hear them attacking each other. If you go turn on the Discovery Channel or go look on YouTube, you can go look at things where gorillas are supposed to be the highest, but there's these chimpanzees and bonobos who have been attacking and killing gorillas because they have become more ambitious in their territory, and the gorillas' territory is shrinking. Pardon me. And so there's a lot less. So what they've started to do is, as much as a gorilla can be dangerous, their numbers are up to the point where they feel like they're powerful enough to do it. And this is the nature of animals. This is how it works. So this is something that human beings do, and we try to disguise it with politics and intellect, but it's part of our animalistic nature. There's always going to be another sorry-ass politician coming into office. There's always going to be people sick. There's always going to be heartbreak. There's always going to be liars. There's always going to be thieves. And so Saturn and Pisces need you to understand that. It's not about what's going on externally. It's about how you're dealing with it. So what you got to do is deal with it. Life is not happening to you and you alone. And I'm pretty sure you're aware of that. And so you do develop compassion in certain instances, but you have to have some compassion for yourself. And so do what you can. do what you can to make it better from the inside out. Because a lot of the times it's not the problem, it's the perspective.
Splash the God made another one.
So don't let your anxiety get the best of you. Don't let fear rule you. Don't let feelings of resentment take over your life, because that's holding you down. Process it. Now, Uranus is at 26 degrees of Taurus.
Splash the God made another one.
And look, because of the way that the world is, the market is unstable. Because of the way that the world is, people's values are constantly changing. And that makes it hard to understand what's right and what isn't, or what's publicly perceived as what's right and what isn't. It's hard. It makes it hard for people to feel safe in this world. It makes it hard for people to feel confident in who they are. Now, on the other end of that spectrum, because everything is a coin that has two sides, shit, you can make money. Because the people's values are drastically different than they were just a few short years ago. There's so many ways that you can make money. There's so many things that are acceptable now that would have been condemned before. And hey, if you're stuck and you're stubborn about the way that you want to do things, then you're going to end up frustrated. If you're willing to switch it up and do something different, then you can see yourself profiting wildly, maybe even prospering. All right, but you also have to make sure that you're not sacrificing who you are for some money. That's real easy to do. Don't be sacrificing who you are for some motherfucking money. Tiger Lily has them Scorpio placements. They ain't letting go of no resentment. Yeah, we know. Yeah, I see it. Now, Neptune is retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces. Look, with Neptune retrograde here, you're just seeing things differently. I kind of got caught up in that cliche that the rose-colored glasses have come off. And there is a certain instance of that, but you've taken off the rose-colored glasses and now you got some blue V shades on. Some Blu-ray shades or some blue V shades where you're seeing it in a whole different light. But that doesn't mean that you're looking at it clearly. It doesn't mean that you yourself are able to make sense of what it is. But it is like where you're seeing things differently all of a sudden. Your perspective of things has changed. And so what that ends up doing is creating confusion in itself. And so for the next 4 or 5 months, people are going to be seeing things differently. I think Neptune is going to be retrograde until December 7th, where it will then station for 6 weeks, and then it'll finally move. And then next year, in March, Neptune will enter Aries for the first time. And then not long after that, Saturn, pardon me, because Saturn's moving from Pisces, but Saturn will be coming into Aries. And that's when things are going to get very, very agitated. But as for right now, what I'm saying with Neptune here is just be careful. Be careful. Temper your expectations and judge from how you feel about a situation. As I've said over and over, let your inner compass be your guide. Instead of getting caught up in projections and expectations, use that main line to the divine that resides inside of you. That's what Neptune represents. Now, sometimes our feelings can confuse us. Sometimes because of our feelings, we can get delusional. See, that's what Neptune also does. But there's other times that if we're trusting it, it can really lead us into some positive places. So, yeah. Now, Pluto. Damn, I don't know why this is doing it on this. Hold on. Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and it's retrograde. And it's going to be retrograde until October 13th. And so with Pluto doing this, look, it's a lot more subtle than you think, but this is more or less like where, as I've said over and over, where things right here have changed so much, and we see it, that the world is crazy. Things have changed so much that it's hard to accept. It's really hard to accept. And on that same keel, it makes people start to wonder, like, what the fuck is gonna happen now? What's coming next? And so this shit is gonna get so crazy that when Pluto dips back into Capricorn here in about 6 weeks, 5 weeks or so, really, on September 1st, once Pluto comes back into Capricorn, people are gonna get frustrated. They're gonna get worried. They're gonna get frustrated. And so that frustration kicks in, and that right there can force people to make decisions that they normally wouldn't be at least considering. And so, yeah, this next 6 weeks, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. Matter of fact, not just 6 weeks, 12 weeks, the next 3 months. The more I think about it, the next 3 months, starting right now, going on until November 4th, or really till November 15th, they're going to get very interesting. And so we'll see what happens, but I just think there are more unexpected things to come. I think there's still more that's going to be revealed. I think that people are going to start to wild out a little bit, and that's going to cause some fear, and that fear can end up causing some vacillation in certain instances, and then frustrating effects can come from that. But I definitely feel like things have changed so much, you have no other choice but to think, man, like, this shit is gonna get even crazier. This shit is gonna, like, who knows what's gonna happen now? And you should think like that, but that's a change in itself. It's a change in mindset. And that change in mindset is what allows things to happen. So, yeah. Hold on. Jahi! I gotta ask my son what's wrong. What is wrong with you?
He threw up and I'm trying to help. I'm trying to...
Why did he throw up?
I don't know. He was just laying down and I was in the kitchen. And I came back and he felt throw up. He was like, what is that? So I started.
What is it?
It's throw up.
What does it look like?
Like grass. Like he was eating a whole bunch of grass.
Yeah, that grass has chemicals on it. He doesn't need to. You don't need to let him eat grass outside.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my dog is throwing up and they're having a conundrum. And I got a Virgo moon and 2 Gemini moons. And so Mercury's on one of them's moon, and then the moon is on the other one's. The moon and Mars is on their moon, and they just bicker and argue. Yesterday, I sent all 3 of my sons out to go walk the dog. I said, go walk the dog. And they left out arguing. They started bickering when they went out the door. And then 20 minutes later, when they came back, they came in the door bickering. And I was like, y'all are still arguing? And they're slamming doors and shit. I'm like, man. But that's how they show love in a way, is they argue with each other. And I feel like all kids are like that, but it's especially strong with them with those Gemini moons, and then my baby son having that Virgo moon. And so they bicker all the time. Hold up. Sorry, I'm getting updates about my groups being in trouble. But yeah, my sons are everything. They just argue a lot and they fucking talk a lot of shit. That one with the Libra sun, Gemini moon, is not well behaved at all. He's, you know, we try to get away, because when we were kids, they say you're bad as hell. You know, that's especially prominent in black families. And I heard that all the time about how bad I was. And I mean, I was very misbehaved. And I did show out. But I think hearing that also creates an effect on children. So I try not to say that, but it is hard not to say that about my middle son. My middle son is trouble. He's 13, he'll be 14 in a couple of months, but he is trouble. Matter of fact, 2 months exactly. But he is trouble, man. He's been grounded for a month now. He's gonna be grounded for another month. He's our one child that as soon as he gets out of our eyesight, he wants to do the wrong thing. His mind never goes to doing the right thing. I mean, he has a mischievous mind. And both of my sons are Gemini moons, my 2 older sons. But they're so different in true Gemini fashion. My older son, he's a Leo sun, Gemini moon. And while you would think, oh, he's the boisterous one, he isn't. And they both have Mercury and Virgo too, so that doesn't change either. And they're both Earth risings. One's a Virgo rising, the other one's a Capricorn rising. My oldest son's a Virgo rising, the other one's a Capricorn rising. But those placements of the sun and the moon make it interesting. Like his sun is in the 11th house in Leo, almost his 12th house. And then his moon is in the 9th house in Gemini. And so the other one, being a Capricorn rising, his sun is in the 9th house in Libra, and his moon is in the 5th house in Gemini. And my baby son, well, he's not a baby, but my youngest son, he's a Pisces rising, Aquarius sun, Virgo moon. And so his sun is in the 12th house. and his moon is in the 6th house. And he is not quiet. He's just different. But my middle son, he is trouble. Trouble. He's dishonest, and he's bad, and he cares what people think too much, and he tries to impress people, and he's just extra. Now, I happen to have my son in the 9th house and my moon in the 5th house, and he's actually a lot more like me than my other kids. He is very similarly behaved to me, but he's also a lot more volatile in his nature. Now, I might have been that way when I was younger, but he's a lot more volatile in his nature than I am. I wasn't a calm kid, don't get that twisted, but I reasoned a lot. Now, anyway, that brings us to Chiron. And Chiron has stationed retrograde. And so now this is about acknowledgement. It's not just about that process that we're going through. This is where things come into our awareness that we have to acknowledge. And because for these degrees that it's going to station retrograde, it's just like right here, there's going to be certain conflicts that come about out of this. Again. And it's because you need to understand. Not just act, but understand. It's like summer school when you're dealing with Chiron. You know, in summer school, for those kids that had to go to summer school, it's if you didn't pass a certain class. If you wanted to pass the next year and you didn't want to get held back, you had to go to summer school. And so while everybody else was playing and swimming and shit, you was at summer school, having to retake a class, try to keep from failing. And so this is what this is, and it's ironic that it happens in the summer, but this is what I call it for Chiron. It's summer school. And it'll stretch into the fall, but because Chiron's going to be retrograde until December 29th. So we got a while to go here. It's going to be 5, but this is where it's like this stuff, we hit these degrees again. And so certain conflicts and certain issues come about again because you need to understand why this keeps coming about. It's not just about it happening and you taking action. It's about you understanding why it's happening and what you can do moving forward. Now, I never had summer school, but I knew people that did. I had vacation Bible school in the summertime. And when I wasn't at vacation Bible school, I worked at vacation Bible school. So yeah, that's what they had in the summertime in the churches. But summer school, I had really good grades. As a matter of fact, I got expelled from school when I was 16, and I went to a charter school and got my diploma within 30 days of being there. Like I just went and said, I'm ready to test. I can pass that test now. And so I graduated when I was 16. And then I had too much free time after that. But yeah, I graduated when I was 16. And so it's just because I take tests really well. I played a lot too. I got expelled. I got in a lot of trouble, but it's also because my mind works very differently than most people's. And so I always tested very well. I always was successful in taking care of things. But yeah. I got bored easily also, but I was bad behaved anyway. Like when I tell you I was a bad little kid, I was a bad little kid, man. Like I was very bad. I was very intelligent, but I have Uranus in the 3rd house and Neptune. I was not a good behaved little kid. I have my moon in the 5th house. I showed out a lot. I was very gifted. I was very intelligent. But I was horribly behaved. I was mannish. I was mischievous. I was too much. I was too mature and too grown for my age. I had the Black Moon Lilith in Gemini too, so all of that shit. And so I didn't behave well. I did what I wanted to do regardless. And then I wasn't raised right. My mom, you know, I was by my mom, but when I got into once my mom died, I really got out into the streets and into my bag. But anyway, that's Chiron. The Black Moon Lilith is at 3 degrees of Libra. So just be wary of codependent tendencies and needing to be with other people so much that you're not being real. Be wary of people being two-faced. Be wary of superficiality. Be wary of indecisiveness. All right? Don't just tell people what you think they want to hear. That just creates issues and makes things more complicated. It might get you something that seems positive in the immediate, but it makes things more complicated in the long run. And, you know, the Black Moon Lilith is conjunct to the South Node, so it's almost natural. Like, this is what people have a tendency to do right now in times like this, is be so caught up in what everybody else is doing. Maybe even copying other people just because they want to fit in. Now, you also can see where people have issues right here being honest. And it's not because they have some type of way that they're trying to hurt somebody. It's because they're trying to spare other people's feelings and they're trying to smooth things over. And they're trying to keep themselves from having to face a conflict. But that's what happens, is a conflict. Because the North Node is in Aries, so, and Chiron's in Aries. So a conflict comes when you do that shit. It's like the very same thing that you were trying to avoid ends up happening. And it's because you should have just been honest from the first. Don't make it more complicated. Just do what you got to do off the rip and be honest in that expression. Be open in your expression and be genuine in your expression, and you'll be fine. Now, as far as the numerology of the day, we're in that 8th vibration. So this is a day of extremes, but it can also be empowering. And there's a master number 11 connotation to this. And so I would say this is a very karmic day. I would say that. Like, help people as much as you can, but also understand that you yourself have the power to change the narrative of any time. You need to understand that from the inside out. You have the power to change the narrative moving forward. And it ain't nothing to it but to do it. And you changing your narrative could actually make the world a better place. Because you're the only one that's authoring your book. There can be no narrator to your story other than you. Remember that. Hit the motherfucking like button if you haven't hit it yet. We just getting started. So that's all we got to say about the transits. It's been great to bring them to you. Let me think. Y'all want to just look at, I'm not going to give him a whole interpretation, but y'all want to just look at Trump and I would have to write stuff down in Kamala's charts and see what we got coming up. Or do y'all want to talk about something? Would y'all rather have another type of discussion? I'm here to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about for the next hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Just respect my mind, respect my energy. My daughter said that she wants me to look at Kamala's chart. She said, look at Kamala's chart so we can know what's going to happen on this election. Please and thanks, America. Shout out to my baby. Shout out to Nevaeh. She ain't a baby no more. She grown. So yeah. That's where we are. Love 12 1212. What's up with you? Are you ready to have a reading session, or are you kicked in, or are you still moving in, getting situated? We can have one at the beginning of next week if you want instead, or we can have one on Thursday. Let me know. I'm gonna try not to be projective with my beliefs. All right. Because I'm not for Kamala, but I'm against Trump. Cheryl Gray, you said, how's my health lately? I haven't had any surgeries or anything, but I've been feeling okay. So I still have my issues. They haven't been very bothersome. You rather game. What do you mean? Game what? You know what's interesting about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? I will say this. I will tell y'all something that's interesting about both of them. Is they were both born exactly on full moons. You can ask a question, but I didn't come here for a question and answer session yet. That's Wednesday. I've had to regulate those. Because then I get caught up doing the same thing every session. So what's up? What can I help you with? What type of question do you have? If Jupiter's in your 6th house, and I have Jupiter in the 6th house, and you have health issues, it's because of overindulgence. It's not because you are blessed with your health with Jupiter in the 6th house, but it's because you do too much, or you aren't disciplining yourself enough, or you're eating the wrong things, or it has to do with you and your habits. So that's the thing with Jupiter in the 6th house. Is you can have great health with Jupiter in the 6th house. I'm talking about better than everybody else. But once you get into bad habits and once you get into overindulgence, then that ends up creating issues for you. I know this because I got into bad habits. And I actually never got sick before this past year. Never. I might have, and if I did get sick, I could probably count on my hand, on both of my hands, less than 10 times in my life where I had actually been sick or had a fever or, where I was down for more than a day. It's only happened very few times. But I started stressing. I started drinking alcohol constantly. I started eating for comfort. I started just putting some really unhealthy practices into place. I had used drugs for years and wasn't eating right or wasn't drinking right. I I just did things that for myself ended up being an issue, and I got away with it for a long time, and I stayed healthy. But once I started stressing, that really, really, really affected my health negatively. And so, yeah, you do have to be careful with that. But Jupiter in the sixth house, it does usually promise good health, but not if you stress too much, not if you overwork yourself, not if you are having bad habits, not if you're damaging yourself, because those things are going to be really, really, really detrimental to you. But yeah, with Jupiter in my sixth house, I'm still blessed with my health in certain ways, even to this day. But because things could and probably should be a lot worse than they even are right now. But I also have an uncompromising discipline when I want to. You can control that. You're making excuses. You can control your stress. There's lots of single moms. And some of them are stressed, but some of them are just doing what they got to do. I understand your situation. But when you can let go, you can stop stressing. You stress, and you make things more complicated. I know you. You make things more complicated by always stressing. Because everything is more crucial to you than it is to everybody else. And so you need to fucking relax. That's what I've done to myself over the last 2 years, is stress myself into actual health issues. And the issues I have are because stress lowers your immune system. Stress causes health issues in itself. And so, yeah. Sir Thomas said, do Aries get themselves in trouble a lot for running their mouth without thinking? They don't just run their mouth, they run them hands on you. They run their mouth without thinking, and that's a problem that can come about with Aries placements. But more than even running their mouth, they'll run them hands on your ass. So yeah, they act without thinking. They're very impulsive. But from another perspective, I appreciate their impulsivity because in a lot of ways, it's honest. When people say, man, they got it honest, that motherfucker has it honest though. That means, they understand where it came from, and that motherfucker got it for real. And that's kind of how I respect Aries in that way. Is Aries has it honest, and their impulsivity in a lot of ways, or their impulsiveness, it really shows an honesty that is appreciated in my book. But anyway, back to the politicians. Jupiter in the third house natal. You're very intelligent. You pick up on things quickly, but you also do things a little too fast. You can be sloppy with your work. It also means that you're very confident. You were good at stuff from a very early age, but a lot of the times, for you to be really, really good, you would have to study more or practice more, and you don't have the patience for that, unfortunately. So yeah, we know what's up. The fuck you gonna do? Dawson K. I would say that's a that's an appropriate assumption or assertion. Scorpio is more calculated, but just as dangerous. Aries is ruthless. Scorpio is relentless. You hear me? One is primal and savage. The other one is emotional and intense. In King, I would say that there's probably something else in your chart other than just that Aquarius sun that points to that. It could be a placement of where your moon is or what your moon sign is. It could be a rising sign thing. It could be because you have Pluto making some type of aspect to one of those dynamic planets. So I would have to look at more at everything and give you an appropriate assertion of that or assessment. I don't know why I keep saying assertion, but assessment. All of that. What's up, Elena? You said Scorpio ascendant, Pluto and North Node in the first house, conjunction your ascendant. You're intense. You're going through a lot of changes in your life. Sometimes it feels like your life is more chaotic than everybody else's, but you're what I would call a magnetic and adventurous explorer. And so, hey, there's a lot of times where you have fear. But there's other times where even if you're scared, you keep going because that's what you do. And you're just very intense. And you have an energy that you wear on you. You wear it on you. And you can change the dynamics of situations just by focusing 100%. And if you do assert yourself, you do it to the extreme. But it's real hard for you to change directions once you set sail. So it's better that you make sure that you're heading in the right direction before you ever leave harbor. And you can easily become fixated on an experience or a person or a feeling. And that can be dangerous. Yeah, I know you. I know you. Welcome to the Vibe Tribe, baby. You got stress. It's all gravy. But anyway, back to what I was saying. What's interesting is both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were born on full moons. See, Donald Trump is a 29-degree Leo rising, 22 degrees Gemini sun, 21 degrees Sagittarius moon. So yeah, He was born on an exact full moon. Kamala Harris is a Gemini rising. And hold on. Let me look at her chart real fast. I have Donald's right here. Let me see. Anyway, I'm looking at the degree of her rising. She's a 24-degree Gemini ascendant. She's a 27-degree Libra sun, 27-degree Aries moon. So she with the shit. And she actually is very, very strong politically. And what's interesting is they're actually perfect dancing partners with each other. You know, when I look at those boxers, the way when I break down those boxing fights, I can look at them right here and say they are actually perfect adversaries for each other. And there is some synastry between them. Like Donald Trump, his sun is conjunct her ascendant. You hear me? And Donald Trump's ascendant is trine to her sun and then sextile to her moon. Now, here's the thing. With Donald Trump and him having a 29-degree Leo rising, as you can see, he's a lot of bravado. He got a lot of ego attached to who he is. You understand? That name, it means something to him. He's proud of it. The Trump Towers, the Trump Plaza. See, this is stuff that was spoken on all of the time before Donald Trump ever was a presidential candidate. He was famous. He didn't want to just do real estate. He wanted to be famous. You see Donald Trump on WWE. You see Donald Trump at boxing fights. You see Donald Trump having a TV show. So it's not just about power for him, but it's about fame. How did he get that fame? You look at his midheaven. That midheaven is at 24 degrees of Taurus. So guess what that is? That's money. More than anything else, he's known for being a billionaire. Yes, he had a TV show. Yes, he's a real estate mogul. But all of that is recognized by him being a billionaire. And so his career is centered around him being a billionaire. Now, he's built that thing from other ways. Sorry. But yeah, he's built that from other ways, but it's all centered around him being a billionaire. Now, as far as Kamala goes, let me look at her. Her ascendant is at 24 degrees of Gemini. And so, first of all, this is probably why, I'm going to show you the reason why Trump is reticent. He doesn't know astrology, but why he's probably reticent to get into it with her. Because with the Gemini sun, he's very mimic. He can mimic things, and he can talk really well, or it seems like he talks really well. He can speak very cleverly. But with her rising being Gemini there, and her having Sagittarius on that axis of that right there, she is very intelligent. And I mean, he has his sun on that same axis. That means her descendant and her ascendant are on the same axis as the full moon that he was born on. And so that's sitting there right there. That makes things very interesting. So they are both very formidable opponents for each other verbally. They both, that would be something dynamic. This is not Joe Biden. This is Kamala Harris. And if she would probably be a problem for him in a debate, because she knows more about law and more about actual politics than he does. And so she is aware of policies that he might not be able to comprehend. All he can start doing is talking crazy to her and insulting her, which is ultimately what he would do once his ego gets in the mix with that Leo ascendant. All right. And she kind of likes those type of exchanges. And even if she loses, this will be a learning experience for her that allows her to win in another way. Now, for him, he's very, very confident. That moon in Sagittarius can make him blindly confident. But he's also very brave. I don't want y'all to get that twisted about him. That dude is brave. He's willing to try anything. He's willing to take it there. And the stuff that he says about himself, he honestly believes that. Now, I will say that they both are very slick with that ascendant and it being conjunct to his sun. Both of them are very, very slick. And so that could be interesting. Now, her being an Aries sun, an Aries moon, like I said, that means she's not scared either. She's a Spitfire. She's very diplomatic in the way that she expresses herself because that Libra sun, and she knows how to politic and be around people. What I'm trying to tell you is she's about that life. She's about that action. She's fearless too. Even more than him, maybe. He has to believe, and he believes in himself. You see, the other end of that is his ascendant. So he has supreme belief in himself, but she's just about that shit. And she knows how to politic in ways that he doesn't, because he doesn't have that Libra so prominent with him. And to be honest, he's mutable, and with the fixed ascendant, she has a mutable ascendant with a fixed full moon. And so she probably has more appropriate leadership skills. We see how he does things. And it works in his way, but Donald Trump is more messy. And he stirs things by what he says. For her, she is very, very great at communicating policy and then also putting action behind that. And so that's something that's very interesting and dynamic between them. Now, let me look at Donald again. As far as him, his sun is in the 10th house. So as you see, he loves fame, he's ambitious to a fault. Very, very ambitious. He doesn't want to be just the president. He wants to be, and he's been the president. He wants to be in control, and he wants to be the one that's looked at as in control, even if he doesn't have the amount of power that we perceive the presidents to have, because the truth is, there's still a whole bunch of things that they have to do in order for something that they want to get put into place. They can apply a policy, but Congress still has to approve it. There's checks and balances within the government system. That way a leader doesn't become dictatorial. But for him, that is exactly what he would want. He's spoken openly about saying, hey, if I have it my way, there wouldn't be elections anymore. And whatever he means by that, we don't know, but that's how he feels. And he wants to change things in a way that makes sure that it's attached to him. Whereas she wants to continue a political process. And that doesn't make her any more honest than him. I don't want y'all to get that twisted. That doesn't make her any more honest than him. But she's not quite as ambitious. Yeah, she could be president, but for her, it's more or less about It's about politics. It's about policy. Let me look at her again. Yeah, her sun is in the 5th house in Libra. So, she's fun and very intelligent and creative. But for him, he's ambitious. For her, right now, she's popular. He has a cult following, but right now, she's the hot thing on the ticket. She's popular. And her moon's in the 11th house. So she's not just worried about her. She's a leader amongst people, but she is also concerned with the needs of people. Whereas Donald, his moon is in the 4th house. So he's about his family name, as we've seen. 4th house, the 11th house. You have your family, your legacy, your people, your immediate attachments. Then you have the 11th house, which is everybody, the collective. All right. So that's very interesting for both of them in the aspect. And then one sun is in the 10th house, where the other one's sun is in the 5th house. And so, yes. But who he is not honest in itself. Just like with her, who she is, because of hers being in Gemini, who she is a voice. He's a character. She's a voice. Doesn't that make perfect sense? She's a voice for a certain dynamic, for a certain group of people, for a certain collective, for a certain principle. And he is a character, a figure. And so that's kind of how it plays out. Yeah, he is who he is, but who he is a piece of shit. It's not for her to communicate, fantasy flower child. If you have a close friend and a close associate, it's not up to you to tell him, oh, he has a health, and you don't know what Biden's health is. All you can do is make an assumption because you haven't seen a diagnosis from a doctor. You've seen analysis on news shows, and you've heard rumors, and you've seen him, and you say, hey, he's mentally adept. And I feel like he's mentally adept, but you also don't have it. There's no way for you to have a diagnosis. So how can you hide something that you yourself don't have an answer to what it is? You can say, hey, there's something obviously up with him, but unless that person has communicated with you or you have direct access to their doctor, and you can't because of the Hippocratic laws, there's no way for her to know what his condition is. She can only speculate like the rest of us. And then they also work together and are a team. So that is how it goes. And it's not just you telling on your boss, this is the President of the United States of America. So that's where it is with that. So there's a lot that Donald Trump hid, or he tries to hide. Like perversion, corruption, racism, bigotry, sexist, capitalism, all of that shit. Now, as far as Mercury, his Mercury is at 8 degrees of Cancer. Well, first of all, that's why he will not go in mental decline like Joe Biden did, because he has Mercury in Cancer. And with his Mercury in Cancer, his memory is very sharp. And he's really great mentally, unless something that he relies on for security is threatened. And then he can speak very irrationally. But he's also a very emotional talker. And he can make you feel some type of way, whether it be good or bad. Donald Trump can make you feel some type of way when he speaks. Now, his Mercury is in the 11th house too. So he has people that really feel him. And people who are like family to him, a cult following even. And it's because of the things he says, as we know. Now, the Ray Massey Show, Raw and Uncut. Your Lilith is in Leo. What does that even mean? It means you need a lot of attention. It means you're guilty of attention-seeking behavior. It means you're egotistical. You're confident, but maybe even conceited and cocky. And it also means you exaggerate a lot. But more than anything else, it's about the attention. You have a need for attention. Fame. But fame is attention. Recognition. Yep. You need that fucking attention. Now, anyway, back to this. As far as Kamala, her Mercury's at 1 degrees of Scorpio in the 5th house. Shit. And her Mercury's loosely conjunct her sun, but it's one of those out of sign conjunctions. So she has a lot of focus. And she is very slick. She's very clever. But that's also why she was a district attorney and then attorney general. Because she was an amazing detective. And she don't trust nobody. And she has a lot of secrets. And she is very, very suspicious of everybody because she's very sneaky. And I would say that she can pick up on things that most people can't pick up on. But I would also say she's great at communicating and expressing it. That's where the trick. She would be an amazing teacher. But she really has a gift for expressing it. Ebony try to say all the good shit. That ain't Lilith and Leo. You see how she came in with that confidence and try to change the narrative? That's Lilith and Leo. You said people might be attracted to you, whether you seek it or not. People are going to be drawn to you. You hit her with all that fucking... That's Lilith and Leo right there. I know you have it, but you showed him that's not Lilith and Leo, though. You have lots of placements that can say that about you, but that's not what Lilith and Leo does to you. It does what you just did. What you just did is a perfect example of Lilith and Leo. You came on and you glazed that shit real motherfucking quick. She glazed that shit real. She's my family. I know. She glazed that shit real quick. Hold up, he ain't just gonna tell you all that bad shit about Lilith and Leo. And came in real quick and said all this. Hey, that is also true. I'm giving her a hard time, but yeah, that kind of can be true. But also, people can be repulsed by the way that you act too. Like, oh, you fucking too much, and you get a lot of drama with Lilith and Leo. You cause a lot of drama because you extra. You want it to be plain. I'm gonna let you know plain. It's because you extra. You fucking extra. Everything is exaggerated. You extra and you dramatic. You dramatic. Sit your dramatic ass down somewhere. That's the way that you express yourself that gets in trouble, because you dramatic. Yeah, I'm telling everything. You dramatic than a motherfucker. And you be having a lot of drama. And you need a lot of attention. But you got special sauce though. I will say that. Y'all do have a special sauce. Y'all do have a certain way that, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got a lot of swag, but y'all also got a lot of ego. You got a lot of swag, and you are a character in your own right, but you got a lot of ego. The shadow sides of Leo, yeah, the ego, the drama, the exaggeration, the glaze. There's more than that. I just said a whole bunch of shit. There's a whole bunch of shit. Did I not just say a whole bunch of shit, y'all? Oh, your son is in Pisces? You a fucking mess. You an actor. You probably do great skits, though. You have an awesome sense of humor. You got that special sauce. You got a lot of charisma. Riz. I just can't make myself say Riz. I'm too old for that shit to be saying Riz. Just like I'm old, so I don't like when these little youngsters be saying type shit. Like, why are you, like, that shit is annoying than a motherfucker. Say what you got. Anything you say, yeah, type shit. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out my face. I'm old. I'm old school. I ain't old, but I'm old school. All that motherfucking type shit. I hate that shit. And so, yeah. Type shit. I hate that. And calling each other twin. Now, we vibing, right? Yeah, I don't like these niggas calling each other twin either. Like, why are you calling another little dude twin? Like, what's up, twin? Like, and then they call their girl twin too. Like, shut up. Like, why are you calling this motherfucker that you not related to? What's up, twin? Like, that shit's stupid. I can't stand these young motherfuckers these days. What's up, twin? Shut the fuck up. And then type shit. Yeah, these kids be stupid. Hey, make us something throw called Twin. Beats by Blessed on our music. That give you something. Make you something called Twin. Hold on, I'm entering my wife. Yeah, then you talking about what's up, twin? If you call me twin, I'm slapping the fuck out of you immediately. We ain't twins. But yeah, man, I hate that shit. What the fuck is a WhatsApp? Now back to the charts. Hey, you know what's crazy? Al Ghul, which is 26 degrees of Taurus, on the day that Mars and Uranus were conjunct to Al Ghul, or the day before when they were at 24 degrees, when Donald Trump had that shot taken at him, whatever really happened, that was conjunct his midheaven, right? So that activated him. But it was also conjunct Kamala Harris's Jupiter, because her Jupiter is conjunct his midheaven. So that actually activated her too, because whatever happened from that, it painted Joe Biden's campaign into a corner to where they had to fucking do something, because the momentum that was gained from whatever happened with that, it was too much already, and to where Joe Biden had to go on and renounce everything that he said in his political campaign, even before he dropped out of the race. His whole angle was destroyed. And so it kind of painted him into a corner to where he felt like he couldn't win. And so the investors weren't behind him. But in that same instance, at the exact same time, that put Kamala Harris into place. And that proved to be very fortunate for her also. And so this is crazy. The way that these events line up, it's like the way that they line up politically. Hold on. But yeah, I feel so bad, man. Let me talk to y'all. Since the moon is in Gemini, and Gemini, before I go any further talking about their stuff and just pointing stuff out, with the moon in Gemini, Gemini is about the siblings and stuff. And my little sister and I haven't talked in about a year now. She blocked me last year because she was treating her kids in a way that I didn't agree with. And she's never really taken care of her kids in the way that I would, but it's not for me. But at the same time, she's given up her kids several times. She's lost her kids a couple of times. And for me, as a cancer, that's something that I would never happen. I actually had an addiction, but my kids never knew it until I told them I did after it was gone. I was still a great parent. I still showed up to every school event. I still did everything. And so that's something that's a matter of principle for me. But like I said, I'm a Cancer. My sister's a Sagittarius. And she just turns her back on her kids, and she chooses other stuff besides her children, whether it be addiction, whether it be relationships, whatever. And so with us having the mother that we had such an awesome mom, and for our mom to die on us, and for us to go through that experience of finding our mother dead together, and for us to experience all that stuff, I just expected more out of my sister as a mother. But at the same time, I needed to be helpful to her and not judgmental. And that's what I was at that day. I got so upset because I seen her boyfriend being mean to my nephew that I reacted. And that's why I've been trying to sell readings here this last week. I've put out several sales because my nephew and my nieces need help. And anyway, her oldest is her son. He's 16. Then she has a 14 or a 13-year-old. She's about to be 14, and she has a 7-year-old. And so she was just letting this guy was being mean because my nephew was going over there to get her. She disappeared. She just moved her kids into, and she would allow me to tell y'all this because she's in a better place now. So I'm not just telling her business, but she moved her kids in with one guy that was a safe space that she wasn't necessarily attracted to. Let's just put it like that, if we're being honest. She settled for something that, hey, this is a place where my kids can have somewhere to live and I can be with my kids. But she also had an ex-boyfriend that she has a passionate connection with, but also they shared those really toxic tendencies, those addiction issues with each other. And so they really enjoy each other's presence and stuff, but when they're together, they do drugs and it just gets in a bad place. It's more sexual and primal with them. And so she moved her kids in with this, but then I guess this guy got a hold of her and he pulled her back in. And so she went back over there with him and left, she just moved her kids in with this guy that's not their dad. Their dad's in prison. And so she moved her children in with him, and then she cheated on him, left him and disappeared in his car with another guy. And so that Sagittarius shit. And so her kids went looking for her, like, man, what are we gonna do? Like, you left us over here, like, you're this guy. So they knew where she was, and my other sister on some messy shit took them over there. And so anyway, when my nephew went to go confront her, that guy came out and charged up my nephew. And then my sister started cussing him out and telling him to stay out of her business because he was telling her, no, you need to come. And it's not his place. Like, I see this from a perspective where it's not, he's a child. He was 15 years old at the time. And so him telling his mom what she has to do, like, come on, you're leaving here. That's not something that he can do respectfully, but it is what she needed to do. But even though that's what but that's not his place. That's his mother. And so he went to go get her from this place, from this other guy, because where they're gonna get, once that the dude finds out that she's over here with this guy in his car, he's gonna put them all out and they're all gonna be homeless. And so they went to go get her. My sister was already high and already caught up in that shit, so she came out and cussed her kid out and told him to leave and told her she doesn't have to listen to him. He's a kid and she's the parent. And then that guy came out and kind of charged up my nephew, so much to the effect where I had to make a call into the streets and say, hey, this motherfucker here is disrespecting and threatening my nephew. So I need one of y'all to, in my old affiliation, to go ahead and go handle that for me, please. And so that had to be happened. But anyway, what the fuck was that? But anyway, after that, things did fall apart. And my sister stayed with that guy, and then her kids got taken. And they went to go live with my aunt and uncle, but my aunt and uncle lived by a certain set of rules that it's really hard to adhere to. I left their house. I lived with them when my mom died, and I lived with them for a year, and I ultimately ended up leaving. Like, I went to go live with my dad, and that was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. But her kids went to go live with my aunt and uncle, and then they left. And so they got reprimanded into CPS custody because they left where they were not where they were stationed, but where they had placed them. And so they ended up placing them with these people. And now my sister's living her life in a whole different city, and her kids are living with some lady in a motel. And her, every day my niece and my nephew ask me for money. And I have a family myself, so I'm trying to get my sales up. I need hits on that Cash App. I need to post it. I need business. I need whatever I can so I can help my sister's children, man, because they're in a position. And even my nephew right now, he's hitting me up in this live right here, just like, hey, can you send me a little something so I can get some pizza rolls or something, because I don't have nothing. Yeah, like he's just like, I don't have nothing, and so I'm trying to do what I can to help. But that shit is just, it's fucked up. And so, hold on. It kind of is, and then shit. I mean, I have kids too, so this shit's hard. We have a new $400 a month car payment and $300, almost $400 insurance that we didn't have every month before this, and that's not a lot, but that shit, that's a whole $800 that we're used to having to spend that we don't have to spend, that we could actually help them with. And so we've had both of our daughters hitting us up for money, and we had to tell them no, like, man, we just ain't got it to send to you right now. But I mean, we're doing okay. Business is okay, but now I have 3 more kids that I'm gonna have to at least financially support. They can't live with me at this moment, but I'm gonna have to send money for them to eat and for them to get school clothes and to get the things they need, because school starts in a couple of weeks. And then my own children. So yeah. That is what it is, man. Anyway, back to the presidential stuff. Ooh, her Mars is in Leo. Yeah, she's really about that life. Whether you like her or not, Kamala Harris is about that life. And she's very confident and she can speak very well. Whereas Donald Trump is also about that life. They're a perfect dancing partner. Way more perfect than Joe and Kamala. Like these right here are actually like 2 sides of a coin. They're not exactly alike, but they have a lot of similarities. And she's gonna put up a fight. Hold on, let me look at this right here.
Ivan the producer.
That's what's up, Cheryl Gray. I love you. Appreciate it. Hold on, let me see what I got in Cash App to send to them. But yeah. Anyway, they're perfect dancing partners for each other. What's up, Anthony? Hey, my family's my family, man. I don't know what to do right now. What's up, the water bearer? Where the fuck you been, nigga? Working. I'm glad to see you today. Hold on. My shit is not letting me do what I need to do. What else y'all want to talk about? Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Pluto might spoil the election for Kamala Harris. I'm not sure. I think Donald Trump can still win, but she could also win. This looks like it's her time. It does look like it's her time. But Pluto coming into a square with her sun and her moon, that right there could be something that spoils it for her. Yeah, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Where you been, bro? I'm not telling the story. They're not here. It was the purpose was for them to intentionally get together. I'm not gonna put them out there because I'm not gonna tell the whole story because they've been here. But I used to do Valentine's Day fandangos, and so what I would do is for weeks ahead of time, I would have 5 males and 5 females send me their information or send me their charts, and then I would sit here and break down their charts here on live. And so we would go live. I would break down each one of their charts and tell them the things that really stick out as far as relationships go. And I would introduce them astrologically. And then they also, some of them, would share photos with each other in the way that they can. But I introduced each one. I allowed people to shoot their shot and to send them email if they were interested. And so I put them on the play. And so I had 2 that, they got into a relationship. Some of them were interested and it was fun, but they actually had a long-term relationship that came out of it. But it eventually fell through. So I'm not going to tell the details because I don't really know them, but I'm not going to say who they were. But yeah, they got together on Valentine's Day. It lasted for a while. It was beautiful, but there was no boundaries between them, and that shit got crazy real fast. But yeah, I used to do a whole Valentine's Day spectacular fandango. It was fun. It was sexy. But yeah. Hold up, y'all. Oh, no, we good. You like that because you trying to, I know what you trying to do. You trying to, what's the word they use? What's the word they use, man? Not mingle. I mean, the mingle is the word kind of like it, but there's a specific word I'm looking for. I don't know why it's on the tip of my fucking tongue. What is it they tell you not to do? Like, I'll think of it. What's up, Vanessa Marie? I'm trying to think of what the shit is, man. Cattleheart said they ready for a partner too. What type of partner you want? What are you looking for? What exactly are you looking for? I might be able to hook you up. I see you got that fire, but ooh. Is there an age range you prefer? Is there certain placements that you feel like you want to disqualify? What's the word I'm fucking looking for though that Watkins Cat House wants to do? It's not fuck. No, but for real, it's something else. Man, I'm not gonna be able to think of that shit. Entanglement, no. It's something that people do, like when they're at school or they're at a job, and it's like when they're dating at the job, or when they're fucking around at the job. I'm trying to think of the word, but I can't. No Pisces or Scorpio moons. No, it's an older word than that. It's an action. It's a verb. It's something they're doing. I can't think of the word. It was right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it anymore. What's wrong with Pisces moons? I'm the best. One thing I'm not gonna never tolerate is Pisces moon. I can't even talk right now. Pisces moon slander. We got to end the live. I ain't talking correctly. Hold on. Man, what's the word I'm fucking looking for? It's fucking pissing me off. There's a specific word for like flirting on the job and for like doing it at school. Fucking around or flirting on a job or at school. No, it's not the term. It's not a phrase. It's a word. There's a certain word. I can't think of it. Which is bullshit. This is getting on my nerve. I'm about to cut the rest of this shit off too. I'm not gonna go like barefaced again, but I'm gonna have to cut some of this shit off. Fraternizing, that's the word. That is the word. Thank you. That's what Watkins Cat House is trying to do, fraternize. Shout out to Cheryl Gray. I don't know why it was on the tip of my tongue. Sag Sun, Aries Moon, Taurus Rising, Cap Venus, Mars and Virgo. Oh, you're very picky. But you also might be a thickie. With that Taurus Rising, you might have a little, you know what I'm saying? Like a little to you. Yeah. But you ain't no good. You're a Sag Sun, Aries Moon. I'll put it back up. I'll put it back up. When the football season starts, I'll put it back up. I'm actually in a different room, but yeah, I'll put it back up. Yeah. Sag Sun, Aries Moon, you'll leave them with a quickness. You ready to go. You in and out like a light. You quit somebody's ass so motherfucking fast it don't make no sense. You ain't got no loyalty in you. You got a lot of passion, but no loyalty. You got a lot of passion, but no motherfucking loyalty. Ain't this a bitch? Yeah, fraternizer. Watkins Cat House would be trying to fraternize. She's a fraternizer. She did it on her last job too. That's how she ended up with the husband she got. Yeah, I'm telling her business. She's a fraternizer. And that's what she gets for fraternizing. See, I don't play that fraternizing shit. I don't want y'all fraternizing in the comments. How am I feeling with that Uranus Moon conjunction today? That's not really right now. That's over with. That was last night. It's not today. The moon is in Gemini now. The moon is square to Mercury, conjunct to Mars, sextile to Neptune, trine Pluto, trine the black moon Lilith. Do I watch college football? Yes, I watch college football. I like Texas A&M Aggies. And I like Colorado, of course, because I like Coach Prime. But I like Texas A&M. Giggle. Giggle. But I also love Coach Prime and what they're doing at Colorado or Boulder. As I told y'all, I met him recently. And so that was interesting. Arrogant son of a bitch. What's up, Fi? Fee? Is it Fee or Fi? Fo or Phone? Where the fuck you get that name from? Beautiful. What time is it where I'm at? 3:55. I'm on Mountain Time. It's 15:55. Yeah, Watkins Cat House is a Watkins Cat House is a fraternizer. Yeah, you're on the East Coast. Leo Sun, Libra Moon, Sag Rising. Oh, you're very positive, very sociable. And you're willing to learn from everything, but you gotta, you know how to get along with just about everybody. You're cool like that. You smile, you're very positive. I need some human nature. Is you ready to stroke it again? I'm ready to take you there this time. Pull that motherfucking magic wand down. Open up that drawer, snatch that rose out that drawer. It's time to put it up on level 3. We're trying to ramp it up. Yeah. Water bearer, mind your business. Pull it back out. Turn it up to the highest level. Turn it up to the highest fucking level. It's 11:56 p.m. for the Ink King over in England. Yeah. Yeah, take it out and put it on that thing. I got everything in my 8th house. I'm with it today. The moon, Mars, Jupiter, it's all in my 8th house. Oh, Germany, my bad. Hey, well, shout out to everybody in fucking Germany. From Frankfurt to Berlin. What do you do with the Mercury and Leo in the 3rd house? Stop lying so motherfucking much and exaggerating. No, I'm just playing. You write. You become a creative writer. You write about your life. You tell your story. You make people laugh. You have such a sense of humor. You go on stage and be a comedian because you have stage presence, and you have a really cool way of expressing yourself. But yeah. Y'all fraternizers. I don't do no fraternizing. I just work that thing. I don't. I just work that thing. No, I'm just playing. That was gross. Yeah, we love Mercury and Leo. I'm a Mercury and Leo. Watkins Cat House is Mercury and Leo. No, not Working Cat House. Love 12 is a Mercury and Leo. I don't know why I was thinking about Watkins Cat House. Tawny. Yeah. Sometimes the toys won't do it. Sometimes they need that hot throbbing. Yeah. But they got toys that throb now. Just you gotta be careful though. They're gonna age restrict us. Lisa Sims says it ain't nothing like that real thing. Y'all some real freaks. We can talk about it. Yeah. Let that rose work. What the fuck? Y'all crazy, man. Anyway, what y'all want to talk about now? I am blushing. Hush. I'm light skinned. I was just thinking, it's crazy you said that because I was thinking in my head. I was thinking in my head just now. The reason I'm smiling because I was thinking in my head just now. I was thinking, this is one of those moments I wish I wasn't light skinned because I love it any other time, but I know I'm blushing. I was just thinking that. I was like, man, this is one of the moments. But I also feel like I start blushing when my blood starts gushing and that thing starts gushing. Yeah. My blood is rushing, that thing is gushing. Yeah. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to put out a series of audios of me reading erotic books or in me talking ladies through their orgasms. I've been thinking about doing that. Taking my voice and taking it to the next level. People always comment on my voice. And so what I need to do is just let my voice take you there. This shit got crazy today. Yeah, I'm... Get it there. For real. Anyway. Tony, you would like a Leo place. Stop lying. The king said, what's up? Yes, I'm helpful. I'm just trying to help you. Help me help you. I'm gonna get you there. Helpful, horny. Go hard than a motherfucker. Yeah. Real hard. Oh, man. Love 12. Just cool out, cool out. This shit crazy. I'm gonna build you a garden and rub your feet. We're gonna plant some petunias. I'm gonna plant them real deep. Yeah. I know we in the garden, so I ain't gonna call you no hoe. I'm just trying to help you grow. I have a specific set of skills. I just ain't Liam Neeson. Look at hater ass Watkins Cat House trying to. You trying to bring somebody up into the mix? Like, look at God. Don't be a hater, Watkins. God damn. Your wife will love that. He's a snitch and a hater. It's always, he's always a motherfucking hater. Stop hating before I start telling your business. It's Gemini season. Cattle Heart likes women. She said calm down because she... Yeah. She ready for one of y'all to let her know what's up. Cattle Heart is ready. Like Freddy. Yeah, Watkins Cat House is a snitch. Human nature likes name calling. No, she wants you to call her a hoe then. I'm gonna say, bitch, shut your ass up and take this motherfucker. Y'all crazy, man. Y'all trying to get me in trouble. Shit.
La oíla. Ahora sí se volvió.
Shit, chill out, chill out, chill out, chill out. What is everybody having for dinner? I'm having that meow. Yeah. Whatever I have is gonna have extra cream. Yeah. Oh, I tickled the shit out of myself with that one, man. Yeah. Trying to take you to the splash pad. I'm trying to turn you into a fountain. Hey, the people that watch this later without seeing the chat are gonna be like, what the fuck? Because not everybody can see the chat when they watch these later. So they would have to turn on the... If you're watching this right now, turn on the chat and you'll know what's happening. For those of y'all that are watching this posthumously, you gotta look at the chat. People gonna watch this later and be like, what the fuck is he talking about? This nigga weird. You have to see the chat. I'm responding to the chat. But yeah. Fresh cat right meow. I need that fresh cat right meow. Watkins Cat has said, you know they make blankets now to absorb the squirting. It doesn't get on your sheets and stuff. That's amazing. Look. how comfortable with you are you? How comfortable with pissing all over somebody are you? that's, that's what that is asking. That's basically what you're saying is, uh, you can piss all over. They've always made piss-proof sheets. But yeah, all of that. What am I sipping on? I'm always sipping on slippery elm. It's tea. It's tea that keeps my throat fresh and soothed. This is eucalyptus and slippery elm and licorice. That's what I'm sipping on today. It's very soothing. I only drink water or herbal tea. Every now and then I drink like regular tea, just tea. But most of the time I'm drinking water or herbal tea or both at the same time. Ever since I've gotten on the herbal tea, it's really helped my throat. The issues that I had with my throat is the herbal tea with honey. It costs a lot of money because I'm constantly going through honey, but the herbal tea with the honey and the slippery elm and with eucalyptus which is better for the chest, that really helps. No, I don't drink coffee anymore. I don't drink anything anymore that I used to drink. But I might drink a Gatorade every now and then or some Propel water, but most of the time I don't even like purified water. I drink specifically spring water. I don't want alkaline water that they've already added things to, even though that's something that's popular now. But yeah. Yes, those are herbs. It's herbal tea, but slippery elm is really good for the throat. Eucalyptus is always going to be great for the menthol effects and for what it does for the respiratory system. And licorice is good for the stomach and also the flavor. So yeah. Whoever watches this later, yeah, they're gonna be like, what the fuck just happened in there? But I mean, I'm responding to the chat. I think if they have ever seen my videos before, they should know that I spend a lot of time responding to the chat. So I'm shadow banned or something anyway, because our viewership is down. Or maybe they are presenting after the new update that YouTube did. They're presenting it in a different way. And so it's not the same as it was before. So I don't know. But viewership is way down. And I got kids to support. So I'm telling y'all, I'm still having a special on my numerology readings. Right now, they're $77. Still is not back up to the $99. I'm having a special on my birth chart readings. All right. They had got up to where they were getting pretty high. Now I'm giving a significant reduced rate on my birth chart reading. So for those of y'all that haven't gotten one yet, this is your chance to get one. I'm also looking to accept one more apprentice. And we tried to keep it to 11 weeks, but that's hard to do. And then I also want to be able to keep helping like I'm going to do with Watkins Cat House because I'm emotionally invested. Because that's like not Watkins Cat House, Love 12. I keep saying Watkins Cat House, but I mean Love 12. Like I love Watkins Cat House too, but for Love 12. Because that's family. And so being family now, I want to make sure that she's progressing and getting understanding the things that she can so that her practices are going to evolve the way that it should. So I'm looking to take on one more apprentice. Her and I are at the end of our cycle to where now we just more or less are going to do reading sessions to make sure that we look, and we might talk about some things, but it's for us to help understand and read together. But I need one more apprentice that I can impart this knowledge with. Not impale, but impart. I ain't doing no impaling. I just do jumping and scaling. Can I explain how progress charts work? Yeah, a progress chart is just taking the concept that your energy is evolving. And so your sun is going to progress like a degree every year. Your moon is going to progress like a degree every month. Mercury is going to progress a little bit quicker than a degree a year. Venus is going to progress about the same, about a degree a year. Mars is going to progress like 3/4 of a degree a year. Maybe half a degree a year, but a lot of times 3/4. And then Jupiter is not going to move fast enough to really notice. Saturn is not going to move fast enough to notice. And your ascendant is also going to progress. And so you start out as this fundamental energy, and as you grow and you mature, your energy kind of evolves or progresses into these new placements. For instance, I have Libra rising, Sun in Cancer, Moon in Pisces in my natal chart. In my progress chart, and Mercury is in Leo, Venus is in Leo. In my progress chart, I'm a Scorpio rising, I have a Leo sun, I have a Cancer moon, I have Mercury and Venus in Virgo. You feel me? And so that's kind of where my energy has progressed into. And that makes a lot of sense about me and my life at this point in time. My sun has progressed from Cancer in the 9th house to Leo in the 10th house. My ascendant has progressed from Libra into Scorpio. My moon has went from Pisces all the way to where it's now in Cancer in the 10th house. My Mercury has went from being in Leo to where it's now in later degrees Virgo in the 12th house. Venus in Virgo in the 12th house. And so, as a matter of fact, my Mercury is about to go into Libra. But that's the ways they progress. Now my Mars, because it's retrograde in my natal chart, my Mars has actually went backwards a few degrees. My Mars is now at 9 degrees of Capricorn, where it's at 21 degrees of Capricorn in my natal chart. What are my thoughts on Ophiuchus? There's no such thing. There are no thoughts. Ophiuchus is not a part of the zodiac. There is no Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is not a thing. It's a constellation, but so is Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, and so is Perseus, and so is... Ophiuchus is a constellation that is not considered a part of the zodiac. You're Sagittarius or Scorpio. You're not Ophiuchus. But I am the freakiest. Let me quit. See, I ain't behaving today. But for real, you're not Ophiuchus. I'm just the freakiest. Who's the cheekiest? See, I can't even be serious now. And I can say that with the sun in Leo, the moon in Gemini, and all of this Gemini energy, it's going to be hard to be serious, or in other ways to take certain people serious. Like, people are going to be playful and maybe even a little silly. don't be no goofy. Because we don't fuck with goofies. You hear me? My birth chart is more accurate. My progress chart makes sense. I could see it. But my birth chart is infinitely more accurate. There's more intricacy to a birth chart. There's more intricacy. Intricacy. I don't see a Cancer moon for me either, but it is what it is. I think it's more the tone of your life instead of who you are emotionally. Or you can be dramatic and you can be fixed. I can see that. I can see a Leo moon for you. You can be dramatic. You can, yeah. You dramatic than a motherfucker. You blow things out of proportion like a motherfucker. You show your ass like a motherfucker. You goddamn sure are a Leo moon. I'm a Cancer sun. You say you can see it. I'm very big on family. I'm a Cancer sun naturally. So the Cancer is there regardless. But yeah, Cancer moon. But I'm also big on my career because my sun is in Leo in the 10th house. Yeah. You dramatic. And you blow shit out of proportion. And you're not accountable. And I'm on your ass. Yeah. You're an unstable creature. Ain't that what he said in Baby Boy? Unstable creature. All of that shit. Human nature, are you still with us? You might have sucked your own soul up out of there. I need a few of y'all to hit that Cash App. Post that Cash App for me, somebody. I need somebody to post that Cash App. I need somebody to hit that Cash App. I need to help take care of these kids. I need some help. I need some help. I need some business. Business is okay, and I'm feeling good to do it. But I need to ramp this shit up. I got responsibilities. Lisa Sims is Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. No, that's my email. I'm talking about the Cash App. It won't let me type. I'm trying to type. It won't let me chat. I'm trying to see. You ain't let me do nothing. But yeah. In your Vedic D10, you're a Libra now. I can't see that, but if you're a Vedic Libra, that would mean you're a Scorpio. There we go. Thank you, Love 12. If you're a Vedic Libra in the D10, that means you're a Western Scorpio, which I could see. I could see you as Swati Nakshatra. Swati. I'm gonna blast you. So yeah, I could see Swati. I need y'all to hit that Cash App. Like immediately. Hit the Cash App. Put that cash up. Hold on. Sorry, I had to send a text. So no more questions. We just vibing. We got anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes and then I'm out. So whatever we got going on, I need to make it count. 30 minutes at the most, 10 at the least. It just depends. I've been here as long as I can be for free. I gotta go mind the business that pays me and think of something productive to do. Human nature needs to send me some money for all them orgasms she done got out of this live. Pay me. She probably done passed out. Yeah. People are so goofy. So y'all got nothing else to say? This has been one of those wild sessions today. It's been fun, but it's been wild. I don't know what to do with it. All right, so we're going in 5 minutes. I appreciate everybody's love and support. If you're interested in any astrological readings, don't ever get at me in these comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's MR.TURNER1300@gmail.com. I appreciate everybody for coming in today. It's been pretty cool. I might be back tomorrow, but I will more likely be back on Wednesday. No, I don't know about Chinese astrology. Good points.
I'm the producer.
But I do need to reassess. See what's going on. It's been an interesting session. Shit got crazy. I'm also offering deals on my Pluto through Aquarius transit journey readings, my birth chart readings, my numerology readings, and I'm still accepting one more apprentice. So we're about to go in about 5 minutes. Then I'll have to figure it out from there. Pluto in your partner's 6th house. I think your Pluto in their 6th house. You could be a straight. I mean, there's good stuff and bad stuff. You could be a strain on. Oh, I see a hummingbird. You could be a strain on them, but you could also be something that ends up forcing changes in their life that ends up being healthy. But there also could be stress right there. There could definitely be some stress right there. Pluto in partner's 4th house. Oh, you changed it. Here's the thing with that. There can be a deep connection between y'all. But I could also feel like that Pluto putting intensity into that 4th house could bring up some stuff from the past that's uncomfortable for them to confront. And it could also force some changes in them internally, or there could also be some issues with their family that come to the play with that. So that's interesting. Pluto's going to add intensity and changes to those dynamics. Pluto sextile to Neptune. There is no such thing as Pluto sextile. Well, there can be a transit, but usually it's Neptune sextile to Pluto. But that's just a process of change from the inside out. Change of beliefs. And, sometimes it's realizations. It's not just revelations. Other times it's just like there's this subtle change that's suddenly going on, and it's because people change what they believe and change how they perceive things, and that forces changes in all other dynamics of their life. And so that ultimately ends up being something cool with that. Young God, you said, what does it mean if their sun is conjunct Venus is trying to your Lilith conjunct your ascendant? Sexiness. Their sun is conjunct their Venus. Your Lilith is conjunct your ascendant. So there's some attraction there. But there's also some stuff where they might, where you might bring out the worst in them in certain cases. I'm fixing to go. Y'all start asking all these questions. We'll have a question and answer session on Wednesday. But Venus and Mars conjunct partners North Node and Sun conjunct Chiron. Venus and Mars conjunct partners North Node and Sun conjunct Chiron. That Venus and Mars conjunct their North Node just means that you bring out something in them that's good for them. Even if it's something that they're not so willing to express, it brings out something in them that's really good for them. South Node conjunct partners Lilith. That's one of those things that brings out the worst. Y'all, you need to grow. There needs to be some growth in that. So, yeah. South Node conjunct partners Lilith. That y'all bring out the worst in each other. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm listening to go. I'll see y'all later. Bye.